Does this sound familiar? Every AI session starts cold. You have to re-explain yourself every time a session starts. Your context window is burning before the work even begins. And insights from last week are gone. You've got no memory and no decision trail. I've solved this. I've created something I'm calling a persistent recursive layered memory. It's a 5-layered memory architecture for AI collaboration. Essentially, it's an always-on live memory system which can be researched by your AI anytime it needs to have valid information. The 5 layers from which this memory system is made include an environment, identity, configuration, a project ledger, and an episodic index, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about each one of those 5 things. Let's start with the environment. The AI knows where it is before it even speaks to you. It knows which tools are available in this session. It knows the file system paths on your particular computer and the drive letters. It understands execution permissions and constraints which you set. And it has known failure modes and workarounds. It will always be honest with you if it doesn't know something. Next, you've got the identity and the configuration. It understands who you are as well as who it is in terms of your relationship with it. So it'll understand your role, your communication style, your preferences. It'll understand the standing protocols and the working conventions. It'll understand active projects and their current state. And it makes session notes, lessons learned, things left to be done. Then there's the project ledger. It has decisions, not activity, the why, not just the what. It understands what's going on in real time, what has happened, and the direction you're going in. So the current status of every active project, the last decision made, and the rationale for that decision. The open questions which have yet to be answered. And these are all updated only when something is decided. This is all done autonomously, or semi-autonomously. You can tell the AI, okay, you can now update the PRLM at any time you like. Or you can direct it to search its own PRLM saying something like, what were we DAS doing last week with that particular project? And it will find it for you. Level 3 is the episodic index. This is a compressed history. Thousands of sessions in 50 lines. This is kind of like an index to a library. Rather than the whole book, it tells you where to find the book. So you have one digest entry per discovery or milestone, tagged by a project and a concept. So it will cross-reference by project or concept. So let's say you're dealing with, a new recipe for hot cross buns. It will know the project is a cooking project, or the concept might be something to do with buns. Either way, it will find it by one of those 2 tags, or several tags. The full stories are stored in level 4. That's your complete book, and those are fetched on demand. There are 5 markdown files, and that's the whole system. You create a folder with your name and PRLM if you like. An ND file is written to for each of the levels, listing your tools and environment, the description as to how you work, your active projects with 1 section each. There's a JSON file which is updated all the time. It starts empty, but each entry adds to it. So you can end up with hundreds, even thousands of entries, but these only take a few moments to scan through because they're only a maximum of 50 lines deep. So they can be read very, very quickly. At the session start, and you'll need to add this to your preferences in Claude, for example, or in ChatGPT, but it will tell your AI to read them in order. It generally starts with the newest ones first. So the highest number of, let's say you've got 250 entries because you've been building up a history, it will start looking at the last 5 of those 250. At the session end, it will update what's changed and what was learned. what you as a user learned, but also what the AI learned. So it learns from mistakes. It will know, there's no point in looking for this particular YouTube this particular way. Instead, the workaround is this. Or if it learns that, I can't write lengthy things in PowerShell, the workaround for that is to quickly write a file system and a bat file, and then execute that bat file using Windows and run, a useful workaround I found anyway. You will find that every session is better than the last because it's building on knowledge that's been acquired with you. So you will end up using 75 times fewer tokens than you used to. You'll find there's a decision archaeology which doesn't have to be learned every time. It already knows how decisions are arrived at, and that knowledge only increases over time. The AI knows you better because it understands your context, because it has effectively a living memory. And this persistent memory works across every single session, whether you're working within projects, which have their own internal memory systems, which are provided for by the companies that provide them. In my case, it's Claude or ChatGPT. But whatever you're using, this persistent memory will work in every session. The compounding intelligence, which is a point I've been making throughout, increases each session because each session builds on the last. Typically, I find that using this system, I'm going through 1,500 tokens at startup, which is a small amount of tokens compared to, okay, here's what I need you to know from the last session or the last 3 sessions or the big project I've been working on for the last month. It knows all this. It knows what's relevant. It doesn't necessarily need to know from the beginning of Genesis to the end of Revelations. It doesn't need to know all that. It just needs to know, what are we currently working on? And it will understand where we are in the project and get as much information as is required to assist you with that. As much as you need, but more is available if it's ever needed. This is a fantastic system. So I encourage you to build an infrastructure that serves the work, not the other way around. You get 5 files, works with any AI, with any practitioner. This is something you can start today. And if you're interested in knowing more, send me a comment and I'll provide you with more details. No cost.